All right, guys, 1 minute. Thirty seconds. $15. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's take it out, guys. Good morning, everybody. Hey, everybody's Jordan is the leader of hype. He's my hype man. It's not that bad, Tiger. Oh, it's not that bad. What movie is that from? Oh, it wasn't that bad. All right, guys, get moving. Come on. Shake off that hour of power we did last Sunday. That's a distant memory now. We're on the new things. So we got a 74 TSS here. Adding the toolbox, can use all of our different skills. Tempo, high-end power, high-low cadence, perseverance. It's nothing compared to what we did last weekend. So embrace it. Enjoy it. Love it. Right now, just get moving. 3 minutes, nice and easy. Give you a whole 3 minutes here before we get to our initial warm-up effort. So some of you guys have some new FTPs after Sunday. You'll be fine. You need to take a little more time to warm up throughout the beginning of the first 20 minutes of this one because your legs are a little shot still from the weekend. Use that down arrow, hit it a couple times. Don't worry about what it says on Zwift. Timing's off. But just nice and relaxed. Just wiggle those toes. Everybody breathe. Hearing the tales of yesteryear about experience on Sunday morning. Really good stuff. We're applying everything that we work on, session after session after session, putting it all together. Only thing that was missing was George. It's George's 1 hour of power, and George didn't show up. I'll let him speak for himself at 2 p.m. All right, so make sure we drive those knees straight up and down, guys. Drop that heel. That relaxed ankle allows that heel to drop as you drive the knees straight down. Let's up the effort to 80%. 3, 2, 1. Just keep the cadence nice and relaxed. Like I said, if you need to take a little more time to warm up, hit that down arrow. Effort shouldn't be too crazy right now, so 80% is something you could hold all day. George, you're muted from typing anything the rest of the Zwift ride. No more from you. So we have a little pyramid here, starting at 80%, go up to 85%, 90, Top out at your threshold, then we'll come back down. I want to bring our cadence slightly slower with each step of the pyramid. So by the time we get to our threshold effort, that cadence is in the 60s. So we're really working that torque. Then as we come down, we bring the cadence up again. So it's like we're on a climb, pushing over the top, pedaling into the descent. So now we're in the initial stages of a climb. Takes about 7 minutes. It gets steeper as we go. If you want anything to visualize right now. But time and time again after Sunday's ride, I was just focused on the process. Process focused. The hour was done and it seemed like 5 minutes. When you're in the thick of it, yeah, it hurts. But when you finish it and you think back, you think, how the hell was that an hour of work? It's because you were so mentally dialed in every second of every minute. Because that's what we do every single session here. Your cadence right now should be somewhere in the 70s. We're going to go up to 85%. Bring our cadence into the high 60s, low 70s. So slow your feet slightly in 2, 1. 2 minutes here. We hit that glute activation prior to the ride in order to get used to using those glutes as we pedal here. We subconsciously turn those glutes on. We're keeping our knee drive straight up and down here. Keeping our weight back on the saddle, not leaning forward too far. And by releasing our ankle and letting that heel drop as our knee drives straight down. Upper body's nice and relaxed. Face is relaxed. Release your jaw. And you're visualizing this climb. It's about halfway up. Triathlon is a sport. Endurance sport is a sport where you can't wait till the last minute to do the work. What happens in April, May starts now. So you look at a 75 TSS, 5:45 in the morning on a Tuesday. Say, why the hell are we doing this on a Tuesday in January? You've got to lay the foundation to build off of this. 2, 1, cadence into the mid 60s, 90%. In the coming weeks and months. We don't do this now, we're not going to be in the right spot come race day. Not a sport for procrastinators. Got to do the work. All right, so we're going to come up to our threshold in 30 seconds. Bring your cadence down into the low 60s. Might feel like you're one-legged squatting every pedal stroke. So let's make sure we're driving one knee down and floating the opposite knee up. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Drive your left knee down, float your right knee up. Focus on that for this 30 seconds. Drive your left knee down, float your right knee up. "30 seconds of focus. Come on. All right, I'm gonna bring cadence up a little bit. Come back to 90%. 5, 3, 2, 1. Drive your knees. Cadence to the mid 60s. Good. Very nice, guys. Good stability in your saddle. We're not bouncing back and forth. We're swaying back and forth. We're not bouncing up and down. Just like when we do a plank, we stabilize that core. The similar feeling you should have right now. 85% in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Cadence in the low 70s. You feel any stress in your quads, your knees, your shins? Probably leaning forward a little too far. Bring the weight back over the saddle. And drive through that bottom bracket. Really nice, guys. Think about the knee drive. Forget about the ankle. Just like when we're swimming and we tell you get that elbow up, then pull the elbow back, open your armpit to get those big lat muscles engaged. Talk about driving the knees and forgetting the lower leg, get these big glute muscles engaged. All right, 80% coming up. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Cadence 75 to 80. And there's a saying in the strength community, joint position dictates muscle function. I haven't said that on this ride in a while. So the position your joint is in as it moves, ankle, knee, hip, shoulder, elbow, wrist. Joint position dictates muscle function. So think about your knees. If they're knocking in, the muscles that are functioning are your adductors. Those small quadricep muscles. If they're out, IT bands, piriformis, tiny muscles on the outside of your leg. Your joint position of the knee is perfect, aligned, no wobble. Glutes. Joint position dictates muscle function. Your elbow drops in the swim, your deltoids turn on, your lats turn off, elbow stays up, lats turn on, take the load off the shoulder. Your hips sink back while you're running. Shorten those hip flexors. Turn off your glutes. Your hips press forward as you run. You lengthen the hip flexors and engage the glutes. All right, 75 to 80 cadence, guys. 30 seconds left. Good work. Keep those hip flexors turned off as that knee floats up. Don't yank that pedal up. 3, 2, 1. Spin it out. All right. Here's your warm-up. Wasn't so bad. It wasn't so bad, Jordan. It wasn't so bad. Rocky 4. Good.
Francisco, baby. Francisco with the 10-kilometer swim the other day.
Hold on. What's that?
Francisco, 10-kilometer swim the other day, baby. Have to say it.
Guy didn't snooze on it either. He kicked all your asses.
Yeah.
Francisco did the 10K swim because he's crazy. Cody will be sending him the honorary Salvation Army bowl. Got for $4.99. It's our version of the Stanley Cup. All right, guys. So we got a 9-minute effort coming up, followed by a little break, then with some high power effort on top of the fatigue we build from the tempo. So we go 80, 85, 90%, 1-minute break, 110, 105 threshold. We're gonna go up in cadence over the course of the 3 minutes. So we're gonna start in the 70s, go up to the 80s, finish in the 90s. So we build cadence every 3. And we don't build cadence by getting out of the saddle and soul cycling it or what's it called? Pelotoning it. We get out of the saddle. I mean, we stay in the saddle as we increase cadence and we force that knee drive to increase our momentum, our foot speed. I don't want you using the torque of standing up. I want you putting the power into the pedals with that knee drive. And that's just not just to make you suffer more, Lynn. It's to help you feel and get better at applying power to the pedals without relying on, what is it, like Newton's law of gravity or something? E equals MC squared. We're all my physicists. All right, so we're gonna start at 80%. Nice and relaxed foot. Wiggle your toes. 3, 2, 1. Cadence somewhere in the 70s. preferably the high 70s. But I want to be able to build every 3. So keep the cadence on the lower end of race pace cadence. On our spreadsheet, I put a spreadsheet out that lists the results of the hour of power from Sunday. And it's not to cause comparisons or force competition, so we can keep track hour power over hour power, seeing how we're progressing. And so your coaches can take a look. But Emily had a great idea to add cadence to it, average cadence. So you guys have been doing that. And if you didn't get the spreadsheet, let me know. I'll send it to you. And I'll share it on the 2 p.m. call. But it was great. I was seeing cadences in all of them. High 70s, low 80s average for the hour. And that's what we want. Not too high, not too low. Right in that sweet spot. Good strength applied with some decent foot speed. It's how you go fast. You go too low, you grind too low over gear, it's all muscular. This is racing I'm talking about, not training. And training want to work all the systems. Too low, you just grind a gear, you mash too big of a gear, burn out your muscles. Too high, spike your heart rate for too long. You don't get enough bang for your buck. You burn out that aerobic engine. We meet in that 75 to 80 range cadence. The perfect relationship, like peanut butter and jelly. All right, here we go. 10 seconds, bring the cadence up into the low 80s. 5, 3, 2, 1. 85% effort. Now we drive our knees. You don't stand. Give yourself a minute to work into it. The cadence in that 80, 85 range. We got one more step up the ladder here in our last 3 minute coming up, but we're not there yet. You don't have cadence on your bike. Every time your left knee drives down, you can count for 10 seconds. We'll count that left knee in 2, 1, go. Stop. Multiply it by 6. You're not in the low 80s. Add some RPMs. If you're having a tough time bringing the cadence up, wiggle your toes, relax your ankle, release your calf. Lower leg relaxation adds efficiency to the pedal stroke. That coupled with the knee drive help you get that cadence up. Play Racing Oceanside. Crucial. Be able to have a grasp of all these different cadence ranges. Because when you get to mile 30, and pretty much all 3,000 feet of climbing is packed in the 20 miles from mile 30 to mile 50, it's a grind. There's a ton of up and overs where you got to recognize, okay, I got to drive the knees, bring the cadence up, push over the top, drop the gear, get into that downhill, push a bigger gear as I go downhill. All this stuff needs to be second nature come race day. All right, 10 seconds. We're up to 90%. Bring your cadence up into the high 80s, low 90s. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Drive your knees. Stay seated. Relax those shoulders, guys. I see some shoulders up here. Don't let your ears eat your shoulders. We're visualizing now. We're on a straight stretch of road on race day. Passing people, flying by them, left and right. Focus on staying present, focused on the effort. Focused on your technique. Every time that left knee drives down, drop your left heel. Count that out. 30 pedal strokes. Count to yourself. Left knee drives down. Drop your left heel. 30 pedal strokes. Count it out. Go. Over to the right. Drive your right knee down. Drop your right heel. 30 pedal strokes. Let's go. Good. Nice and relaxed. Bring it into the finish. Got 1 minute. We're going to come up on somebody who's moving pretty quick. We're visualizing race day. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. So we come up and we're legal. 10 meters back. But we're sitting using a slight amount of draft, knowing we want to pass this guy. But we need to get a little bit more energy in the legs before we do. So we sit in the draft or the legal draft, no cheating. Gearing up to put in an effort to blow by our competition. This guy's in our age group. We want to leave him like a fart in the wind. Get rid of him. Like yesterday's trash. Let's put in a big effort, 110%, cadence in the 90s. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Move your legs. Take it 1 minute at a time. Now we put in an effort. We're coming up. We got to pass them and leave them. We don't just pass them and let off the gas. Come on, guys. Keep that cadence in the 90s. "30 seconds at a time." Chomp down on that bit. Come on. Guy sees you pass. He says, wow. He has a lot of energy. No way I'm even in the ballpark. Fitness-wise. 3, 2, 1. Drop the cadence slightly. Effort's 105. Stay on the cadence, though. Still in the high 80s, low 90s. "30 seconds at a time." Gonna come down the threshold. Still can't let off the gas. 3, 2, 1. Cadence. 75 to 85. Big deep breaths. Relax the upper body. Focus. "30 seconds all the way in." Two, 1. Spin it out. Very nice. That's how we focus, guys. Good flow. Focus on the process. Need to turn ERG off. To spin it out a little bit, turn it off. We'll bring it back up. So keep those legs turning. So we're building the fatigue, right? In order for us coaches here to make you fatigue resistant, we got to push tempo on top of that fatigue. So we beat you up for 32 minutes, and we're going to beat you down for 30 minutes. So stay on that hydration. Keep the gels coming in. Got to adapt our gut to tolerating those sugars. We got to practice with what we're going to use on race day. Doesn't have to be quite the frequency. We're only on for an hour. I don't need you taking a gel, going broke every 15 minutes. But I need you to take something in to start to get used to processing those sugars at tougher efforts. So Alicia just made a great point that when she goes from 110, the lactate builds to a great extent when she's 110%, but she drops it down to 105. and it drastically drops. The lactate clears. And if you saw Andrew's testing, I have everyone who did the InSync inside tests. You can tell the athletes who are fitter, and Alicia's extremely self-deprecating, but she's extremely fit. She's been doing this for years upon years upon years. So don't tell me otherwise. I want to see a swift comment from you. She has the ability to recover quickly at higher end efforts, like she's saying. Not saying she's fully recovered at 105, but her lactate's here, and the slightest back off of effort, boom, that lactate drops. So you'll see the athletes who are fitter and have been around a while, how quick the lactate drops at harder and harder efforts, or what you think were harder and harder efforts. So that's why we try and drill into you in these practices to get used to recovering at tempo, teaching your body to clear that lactate under stress, pushing over the top of a hill, staying on the pedals and recovering while you're at 90%. Because on race day, every second counts. And if we can keep the foot on that gas and not have to totally soft pedal in order to get those legs back, we're making up time on our competition, gaining time. Turn your ERG back on if you turned it off. Let's get going here again. We're going to start with our cadence in the 70s in 3, 2, 1. Good solid effort here, nothing too crazy. Cadence in the lower end, 70 to 75. And once again, we're going to climb every 3 minutes. We're on a 9-minute climb. We break it down, 3-minute segments, slightly increasing that effort every 3. We're going to gear up with that minute spin and then push over the top. That's our visualization for the next 1-minute efforts. Not thinking about that yet. They're a little ways away, but just laying it out there as to what you should be visualizing right now is a 9-minute climb into a push over the top, keeping the gas pedal down. If you look at this midsection here, I'm all braced from here to here. There's no movement, right? Stable in the saddle. Allowing the core to activate, to pump those knees, to turn the glutes on. You just can't stabilize here. You're getting a little too much movement in that pelvis area, taking away from your power output. So for the next minute, I want you to focus on stabilizing the saddle, keeping that core braced, providing that foundation to drive the power. Think about there as we increase, think about that here as we increase effort, slightly increase cadence in 2, 1, stay seated. Cadence in the 80s. Good. I'm seeing some good core stability here, guys. Like I say frequently, that core engagement transfers to the run. We get it right here. Comes second nature once you put those running shoes on. Keeping that posture. It's like there's a cord or a rope right here. Boom. Being taut, tied tight. With that being said, you got to keep the upper body relaxed. The relaxed posture. This is the stuff we need to think about and ingrain into our movement patterns, our engagement patterns now. So it's second nature on race day. Cadence in the 80s. Come on. All right, once again, let's focus on driving your left knee down. Float your right knee up. Left knee drives down. Right knee relaxes up. Let's count that for 40 pedal strokes. Count to yourself. Let's go. Bring our cadence up as we're counting. Cadence in the high 80s. Let's go. Still counting that left knee down, right knee up. Over the right side, right knee down. Float your left knee up for 40. Count to yourself. Let's go. Now we're going to think from the other way. Same thing, but think about your feet. Left heel drives down. Right foot floats up. 40 pedal strokes. Count to yourself. Let's go. Right heel drives down, left foot floats up. 40 pedal strokes. Let's go. Five, 3, 2, 1. 1 minute. Okay, we're getting ready to push over the top. Just a slight reprieve. There's a little downhill before it kicks up. We push over at 110%. Stay on the pedals as it slightly flattens out at 105. We get into our downhill at threshold. All right, that's our visualization. We're going to get on the cadence. 90 plus here to start. Here we go. Start bringing your cadence up. You see the top. Come on, we got to push over the top. 3, 2, 1. Come on. Up and over, up and over. Focus on the present. Focus on the process. Dig deep and reach. Come on. It's going to come down in the high 80s as the road flattens out a little bit. Three, 2, 1, 105%. Cadence in the 80s. Breathe. Count pedal strokes. Count breaths. Relax your upper body. Relax your lower leg. Drive your knees. Come on. Now the road's going to start to go down. Threshold effort. 2, 1. Cadence, high 70s. 20 seconds at a time. Big deep breaths. 20 down. $20 down. Three, 2, spin it out. Turn your ERG off if you need to. But if you look at a lot of our data, like I said, the best recovery happens with effort. Your mind tells you should soft pedal right now. But your body recovers better under a slight amount of load. It's definitely something I want to talk about at 2 p.m. today. All right, so we have a little tempo effort to finish. No big deal. 8 minutes. Come on. 4-minute build. Repeat that build 2 times through. But sure, it's a great physical challenge to do this 8-minute build. But under the fatigue we've been under, and we've placed on our system right now, our minds want to go elsewhere. They want to say, oh my God, I've been tuned in for 50 minutes, pushing the effort. I am tired. Last thing I want to do is focus for another 8 minutes. So I'm just going to go think about breakfast or the tasks, the TPS reports I have to write at work today. Just like in the latter stages of a race, fatigue sets in, the mind starts to wander. You lose that engagement, take a log off the fire, you burn precious seconds on course. So we got to focus on staying mentally engaged as that fatigue mounts. Which is why we're adding this pinch to grow an inch the way we did here. So we're going to start at 85%. Cadence is going to try, you're going to try and stay same cadence the entire way through. Something you could visualize yourself holding for a race on flat terrain. So for most of us, it's going to be in that 75 to 80 range. We take it 1 minute at a time. If we need to break it up to smaller segments within that minute, we do. Starting at 85%. You turn your ERG off, turn it back on. Unless you want to go ERG off and hold the numbers, which is fine with me. So here we go, 85%. We want to hold this cadence the whole way through. Race pace cadence. Let's go. After doing 3-minute efforts, as long as we stay present, focus on the process, these 1 minutes go by pretty quick. But don't look ahead. Upper body relaxed. Relax your traps, drop your shoulders, soften your elbows, release your jaw, wiggle your fingers. Going up to 90%, cadence stays right there. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. No, in order to keep the cadence there, you got to put more pressure in. Power kicks in. Wiggle your toes, release your ankle. Relax your calf. Good, guys. Focus, find your flow. 3, 2, 1. Keep the cadence. Let's focus on floating that left knee up, releasing your left hip flexor with 30 pedal strokes. Go. Over to the right, release your right hip flexor. Float your right knee up for 30. Let's go. Okay, we're at a threshold, guys. Back to your left knee. Float it up. Release your left hip flexor. 30 pedal strokes. Let's go. Going back to 85%. 3, 2, 1. Keep the cadence. Keep the cadence, guys. Come on. Stay on the pedals. Float your right knee up for 30. Let's go. Good. 3, 2, 1. Bring it up. Watch your left knee for 30 seconds. Make sure it stays straight up and down. Watch your right knee, same thing for 30. No bowing out or knocking in. Like the piston of an engine, straight up and down. Stop it again. 3, 2, 1. Come on. Emily says, relax your shoulders. She's looking at you guys. She sees that tension. Recognize it and release it. Relax your jaw. Everybody look up and smile. Yeah, smile. Oh, they're pearly whites. the Crest commercial over here. I'm gonna screenshot that. Bid it out to Crest and Colgate. All right, guys. Keep it right there. Last minute coming up. Keep the cadence right there. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Come on. 20 seconds at a time. 15 seconds at a time. 3, 2, 1. Next 15. 3, 2, 1. Next 15. 3, 2, 1. Last 15. 3, 2, 1. Good. You are my robot. That's it. Put the program in. Press execute. And my robots complete the task. Well done, guys. Adding to the toolbox. So many skills, so many tools used in this workout that come into play on race day. I think everything I say is a quote from some movie from some time, so probably. All right, keep your legs moving, guys. The official workout ends at 45 seconds, but let's stay on until that heart rate comes down into the low 100s, 90s. Keep those legs turning. But you guys kicked ass, man. That was awesome. You'll see this one as a repeating workout every 4 to 5 weeks as we get into our race prep and race ready phase. Because of that visualization, how important it is to visualize race day execution within these workouts. So way to apply yourself, guys. Let's make sure we get recovered today. Get some good hydration, stay on top of your protein intake. You're running off the bike. Once again, take your time, build into it. You want to stay healthy, you want to stay physically, emotionally, mentally healthy. So let's take that nutrition serious, get on some vitamins if you can, just to supplement a little bit, make sure you're getting your sleep. So we're ramping it up, baby. Love you guys. We'll see you at 2 p.m. We got a lot of stuff to cover. So see you on the 2 p.m. call, guys. Links in your Training Peaks. Bye.